Clear your desk, Morales. HR will handle the termination paperwork. I'm frozen, as if time had stopped, the email from Sungrove Markets glaring on my screen, each word a sharp blade carving into my heart. We need people who prioritize work. My breath quickened, a scream building inside that this couldn't be real. Fired for 3 approved days off, 3 days when my father was fighting for his life against death. I'm Elijah Morales, 40, regional team leader at Sungrove Markets, a major supermarket supply chain in Miami. I've given 10 years to Sungrove, starting as a regular employee, climbing to team leader through sleepless nights, tense meetings, and a belief that hard work would pay off. Last Monday morning, I sat in Sungrove's office, Miami sunlight spilling gold through the Coral Gables windows, blending with the faint salsa music drifting from a nearby Cuban cafe. The clock read 10 a.m., but I was already buried in Pure Taste Brands reports, the drumbeat of work relentless like Miami's ocean waves. My team, Carla, Rafael, Diego, and the others, waited in the meeting room, their eyes like salsa rhythms brimming with expectation. I gripped my pen, trying to focus, but a vague unease crept in, like a seagull lost in a storm. My phone buzzed, displaying Maria, our old neighbor in Tampa. My heart stopped. "Elijah, you need to come now." Maria's voice trembled through the speaker, each word a stab. "Your father. He collapsed in the yard. His heart stopped. They've taken him to the ICU at Tampa General. You need to come now." The air turned solid. I clutched the phone, nails digging into my palm, forcing my voice to stay calm. "Maria, I'm coming. Thank you." But when I hung up, I felt like a seagull crashing through waves, wings too weak to soar. I opened my laptop, emailing Victor for leave. "I need 3 days off. My father's in the ICU." I knew he'd approve, but his jealous glare lingered in my mind, a shadow threatening the moonlight. Standing, the Miami sun streamed through the window, reminding me I wasn't just Sungrove's team leader. I was Elijah Morales, a daughter, a seagull ready to brave the storm to keep my family's flame burning. I stepped out carrying Miami's salsa rhythm, determined to fly to Tampa, unaware this choice would change everything. Just 3 days. 3 approved days off by Victor Cruz, the manager who'd patted my shoulder with sympathy, to care for my father in Tampa. There I knelt by his hospital bed, holding his hand through the cold beeps of the ICU ventilator, praying he'd cross the line between life and death. Failure to maintain full presence during critical operational periods, the notice read, its tone icy like an accusation, as if choosing my father over sales reports was an unforgivable sin. I gripped the mouse, nails digging into my palm, clinging to reality. Outside the Coral Gables office window, dawn shimmered over Biscayne Bay, cruelly beautiful, mocking the collapse within me. I sat in. Sungrove's office, the creak of the leather chair a reminder that the world kept turning, though my heart felt heavy as lead. Morning sunlight poured gold through the Coral Gables windows, but it couldn't dispel the darkness choking me. I'd come in early, hoping to catch up on work after 3 days in Tampa, where I held my father's hand, each beep of the ventilator a prayer. As regional team leader of the top-performing division, I'd turned my team into a family. But this morning's termination email made me question, were 10 years of dedication worth it? On my desk, a stack of handwritten thank you notes from the team. Carla's words when I helped her through a crisis, Rafael's when I backed his bold idea, sat quietly beside a photo from the Everglades. We'd laughed under the sun, promising to always stand together. I touched the frame, memories flooding back, like the sunset in Sungrove's parking lot 8 years ago when I was promoted. My father drove from Tampa, hugging me tightly, his voice hoarse. "Elijah, you'll build sails, but only if you believe in yourself will they catch the wind." I carried those words into Sungrove, enduring Victor Cruz's snide remarks about my abilities. But now, with his email declaring me a failure, I felt those sails torn apart. "Elijah, you okay?" Carla appeared at the door, eyes worried, clutching a stack of documents. I smiled, but it was fragile as cracked glass. "Not yet, Carla," I said, voice rough. "They fired me for 3 days with my dad." Carla froze, then flared with anger. "For your dad? They're insane." She grabbed my hand, voice trembling. "You're the heart of this team. They can't do this." Her words were a spark, reminding me that though Sungrove could erase my name, they couldn't erase what I'd built. I squeezed her hand, feeling my sails begin to catch a faint breeze. I nodded, voice bitter. 3 approved days off, Raphael. To Victor, that's failure. Raphael slammed his fist on the table, the sound echoing. "Failure? You led this team to the top." The air crackled as Diego, Sofia, Valeria, Mateo, and Isabella appeared, their eyes shifting from shock to fury. Valeria, voice low and sharp, spoke. "Pure Taste Brands signed because of you. If you go, that contract goes too." Pure Taste Brands was Sungrove Market's key client. Elijah's team had spent nearly a year securing the biggest contract for Sungrove, driving 25% of regional revenue. I looked at them, my heart aching but warm. Memories surged like Miami Beach sunlight when my father pointed to a seagull soaring through a storm. "Elijah, it doesn't fight the wind. It uses it to fly higher." Now my team was those gulls ready to brave the storm. "What do we do now?" Sophia asked, eyes sharp as knives. Carla leaned in. "Victor needs the Pure Taste Brands report by the weekend. Only you know the details. If we delay, he'll panic." Diego shook his head, voice tense. "Elijah, if we do this, Victor will retaliate. I can't lose my job." "My? Mom depends on me." His eyes wavered, like a gull fearing the waves. Mateo spoke up. "We don't destroy Victor. We protect what we've built." Diego took a deep breath, nodding. "All right, but we need to be careful." Sophia added, "I'll encrypt the report to delay access." Valeria nodded. "He doesn't understand the system. We have the advantage." Mateo, quiet until now, said, "I'll check the schedules to ensure no one accesses it early." Isabella nodded, eyes bright. "I'll back Mateo." I looked at them, feeling my inner gull spread its wings, soaring on Miami's salsa rhythm. "Let's do this," I said, voice firm. Each step, from screenshotting emails to delaying the report, was a brick in the path we'd fly together. My team stood around me, eyes blazing, as Victor Cruz strode into the office, his black suit snug, his narrow eyes glinting with smugness. "Everyone back to work," he barked, pointing at me. "You're wasting everyone's time, Elijah." I stood tall, blood surging, but a cold strength flowed through me, like sails catching wind before a storm. He thought he could intimidate us? He was wrong. "Like the discretion you showed firing me via email after approving my leave to be with my dying father," I said, voice sharp, locking eyes with him. The air froze, only the hum of the AC breaking the silence. Victor opened his mouth, a fake smile curling. But I cut him off. "Remember this moment, Victor. It'll haunt you." He faltered, face paling, hand clenching as if grasping at slipping power. Memories flooded back, like dim lights in a meeting 3 years ago when Victor tried to steal my team's credit. I'd stayed silent then, but today I wouldn't. "You're wrong," I continued, voice ringing. "You think firing me will break this team? They're stronger than you know." Victor stepped closer, his whisper threatening. "Careful, Elijah, or you won't work in this industry again." His words were a cold gust, but I didn't flinch. I thought of Carla, Raphael, Diego, standing behind me. "Try it, Victor," I replied, a cold smile on my lips. "But when this team rises, you'll see how wrong you are." He turned away, footsteps hurried, face ashen. Carla grabbed my hand, whispering, "He's calling Rosa, trying to pin this on you." Raphael chimed in, "He's scared." I nodded, feeling like I just crested a massive wave. My dignity wasn't something Sungrove could take. It was something I reclaimed with my team. Sungrove's HR office felt like a cage, but after facing Victor, I walked in with a smoldering fire in my chest. Elena Diaz sat behind the desk, eyes anxious, twirling a ballpoint pen. She was the HR director, but only 3 months into the role. "Elena, you need to see this," I said, sliding my phone with the termination email toward her. She read, brows furrowing. "No warning, no performance plan?" Her voice shook, as if she felt betrayed herself. "I need to check with legal," she muttered, hurrying out. I sat, fingers brushing the cold wooden desk, eyes drifting. To Biscayne Bay, where waves lapped gently. Elena returned, face tense. "Florida allows at-will termination. I'm sorry." I picked up the pen, signing the paperwork, hand trembling slightly but gripping hard so she wouldn't see. Each stroke was a declaration. Sungrove couldn't take my resolve. "Elijah, you okay?" Elena asked, voice soft. I gave a faint smile. "I'm fine. Thanks for trying." As I stepped out, a text from Raphael. "Victor's meeting with Rosa, blaming you for Pure Taste brands. Team's waiting in the lobby." I gripped my phone, not with fear, but with determination. My team, my torch, was waiting, and I'd lead them through this storm. My phone buzzed as I left the meeting room. It was Antonio Gomez, CEO of Bright Harvest Retail, who'd been trying to recruit me for months. "Elijah Morales, I'm listening," I answered, voice steadier than I felt. "Elijah, Bright Harvest needs you, Southeast Regional Director," his warm, confident voice said. "We need your talent." The offer was like sails catching wind, but I hesitated. After a decade of betrayal by Sungrove, could I trust again? "My non-compete," I started, voice wavering, thinking of the clause barring me from working for competitors for 6 months. A legal shadow Victor could use to drag me and my team down. "Antonio, Sungrove will sue if I join Bright Harvest." Antonio laughed, warm as Miami sunshine. "Don't worry, Elijah. Our legal team reviewed your contract. That clause is too broad, hard to enforce, especially since Sungrove unfairly fired you for taking approved leave for a family emergency. If they sue, we'll cover all legal costs." His words were like moonlight breaking through storm clouds, but a cold gust lingered. Victor, with his smug smile, wouldn't let me join Bright Harvest easily. I met Carla and Raphael at a Coconut Grove cafe, sunlight filtering through palm fronds, the rich scent of roasted coffee in the air. Carla leaned forward, eyes gleaming. "Sungrove's a mess, Elijah. System files are missing. Victor's running around like a headless chicken." Raphael nodded. "He knows nothing about the system you built. Staff's panicking." Memories flooded back like sunlight in a Sungrove meeting room 5 years ago when I turned down a competitor's offer for my team. My father had said, "Elijah, opportunity isn't betrayal. It's how you take your team to a better place." I didn't listen then, but now I understood. "You can't give up." Carla gripped my hand, voice trembling. "We need you." Raphael added, "Where you go, we follow." "If they fire you for 3 days caring for your dad, none of us are safe." Their words were a gust, fanning the fire within me. "Bright Harvest wants me," I said, voice firm, "and I'll bring you all with me." Carla smiled. Raphael nodded. "He'll regret this." I knew this wasn't just an opportunity. It was a new path for the team. Days later, I called Antonio Gomez, heart racing but voice steady. "I'm in, but I want to bring my team." His warm laugh rang out. "You're a true leader, Elijah. Bright Harvest welcomes them." I returned to Coconut Grove, where 7 team members sat around a wooden table, the air buzzing with anticipation. Carla smiled, eyes bright as sunlight, but Diego stood, voice choked. "Elijah, we applied to Bright Harvest before you even told us." His words hit like lightning, stunning me. "You did what?" I asked, voice shaking. Sophia, voice low, replied, "We knew you'd lead us forward." Valeria added, "You're our lighthouse." Memories surged like dim light in a Sungrove meeting 4 years ago when I refused to fire Diego. "He's an asset," I'd said, and Diego proved it with a brilliant plan. From his hospital bed, my father had said, "Loyalty is built with heart, Elijah." Now my team's eyes were proof. "Sungrove's crumbling," Raphael whispered, voice sharp. "Pure Taste Brands wants out. They need you." Adrenaline surged, not from spite, but confirmation. My team was my strength. "We'll do better," I said, squeezing Carla's hand. "At Bright Harvest, we'll rebuild everything." Diego nodded, eyes teary. "With you, we're ready." The fire in me blazed, not just for me, but for this family. Antonio Gomez's voice crackled with excitement over the phone, like he'd just landed a major deal. "Elijah, I just got applications from your entire team. Rafael, Carla, Diego, Sofia, Valeria, Mateo, Isabella, all 7. He laughed heartily. "I reviewed their profiles. Honestly, Elijah, you've got a team of all-stars. Rafael's a master at warehouse coordination. Carla's a pro with clients. Diego's endlessly creative. Sofia's razor-sharp with data. Valeria's a tough negotiator. And Mateo and Isabella keep everything running smoothly. Bright Harvest doesn't just want them as a condition. We need them." I smiled, feeling a weight lift. "Thank you, Antonio," I said, voice catching. "They're my team, like family." Antonio replied instantly, "And Bright Harvest will be home for all of you, Elijah. Sungrove was foolish to let you go, but we won't be. Their mistake is Miami's success." His words were like a firm handshake, promising a fresh start. Sungrove's office descended into chaos the day we left. The Pure Taste brand system, which Sophia and I built over months, became an indecipherable mess. Diego had managed the key report files, but now Victor was left yelling into his phone as Pure Taste emailed to refuse contract renewal, costing 25% of regional revenue. "Find that file now," a former colleague recounted Victor shouting in an emergency meeting, but no one knew the access codes Sophia had set. Carla, who handled every client complaint, wasn't there to save Coastal Foods when they pulled out the next week. Valeria, with her negotiation skills, had kept major partners. Now Sungrove only received cancellation letters. Mateo and Isabella, who quietly ensured warehouse operations ran smoothly, left a void no one could fill. Remaining staff panicked, meetings dragged on, but nothing could salvage. The collapse. I stood in my new office at Bright Harvest Retail, Miami sunlight spilling gold across the polished wood floor, but the pride burning inside me shone brighter than any light. The past 6 months had been a relentless battle, not just to prove my team's worth, but to build a castle from ashes. We'd faced storms no one could have predicted, but today when Antonio Gomez placed a hand on my shoulder and said, "Elijah, you're the Executive Vice President of the Southeast region. Bright Harvest is proud to have you." I knew every drop of sweat, every sleepless night was worth it. The battle began the moment we stepped into Bright Harvest. Sungrove, though crumbling, wouldn't let go. Victor Cruz, with his trademark smugness, spread rumors that I'd stolen their system files, a slander meant to tarnish our reputation with Pure Taste Brands and other major clients. Meanwhile, Bright Harvest wasn't always smooth sailing. Some veteran employees doubted the capabilities of our newbie team, and Bright Harvest's outdated supply chain system kept causing errors in major orders. I remember one late night when Diego nearly broke down over a returned shipment, his voice trembling. "Elijah, can we do this?" Carla, eyes red, gripped my hand. "Elijah, I'm scared we'll fail." But I looked at them, recalling my father's words in our Tampa backyard under golden sunlight. "Elijah, true castles are built with heart, but that heart must be strong enough to withstand the storm." We didn't give up. Sophia, with her razor-sharp mind, analyzed data to pinpoint flaws in Bright Harvest's system, proposing a restructuring plan that even seasoned managers nodded to. Raphael, with unwavering loyalty, worked day and night to train new staff, turning skeptical glances into respect. Valeria, practical and resolute, negotiated directly with Pure Taste Brands, convincing them Bright Harvest was their only choice. Diego, despite his doubts, devised a smart delivery innovation that outpaced competitors. Matteo and Isabella, though quiet, always delivered tasks on time, like solid bricks in the castle we built. I led them, but they lifted me. Through days we worked until 3 a.m., through tense meetings and through Sungrove's venomous whispers. In the end, we triumphed. Bright Harvest achieved 30% growth, not only securing Pure Taste brands, but also pulling in a wave of major clients from Sungrove, as if they knew where true dedication and innovation lay. Raphael now leads the supply chain division, Carla shines in customer experience. Diego is an innovation specialist, Sophia is a stellar analyst, Valeria coordinates flawlessly, and Matteo and Isabella are indispensable pillars. But victory isn't just numbers. It's Diego's proud gaze as he presents a new plan, Carla's smile when clients praise her, Sophia's respectful nod when we overcome a crisis. Sungrove, meanwhile, collapsed. The company that was my home for a decade was bought out for pennies, like a ship sinking in a storm they created. Victor Cruz lost his job, his reputation vanishing like smoke. Rosa called, voice desperate, "Elijah, come back. We need you." I smiled coldly. "Rosa, you needed to turn back time to when my father was in the ICU and Sungrove chose humanity over punishing me. It's too late now." I hung up, stepping out to Biscayne Bay, the sea breeze carrying salt and memories. Memories flooded back, like golden sunlight in our Tampa backyard, when my father taught me, "Success isn't money, Elijah, but the people you lift up." I'd done what he dreamed, built a humane castle, not just enduring, but radiant. Back in the office, my eyes landed on a pothos plant, a gift from the old Sungrove team sent by Elena Diaz. It sat on the windowsill, lush and green, a symbol of rebirth. I touched its leaves, smiling. Sungrove tried to snuff out my fire, but my team fanned it into a blaze. Memories of my father in the ICU were no longer pain, but a torch guiding me through the storm. In Miami sunlight, I knew I wasn't just Elijah Morales, vice president. I was the castle, the fire, the legacy my father believed I'd build. 2 years have passed since I stood by Biscayne Bay, feeling the fire in my heart blaze. Today, I stand on the rooftop of Bright Harvest's headquarters, Miami's lights twinkling like stars. But the true light is the laughter and lively voices from the anniversary celebration below. Bright Harvest isn't just the leading supermarket chain in the Southeast. It's become a beacon, guiding the retail industry and those who believe in the power of sincerity. I look down, seeing Carla, now Director of Customer Experience, beaming as she chats with a group of new interns. She's telling them about our early days at Bright Harvest, when we stayed up late fixing system errors, her voice ringing with pride. We did it because we believed in each other. Raphael, Supply Chain Director, stands by a chart, explaining delivery strategies to partners, his eyes as resolute as when he slammed his fist on the table at Sungrove, vowing to follow me. Diego, who once doubted himself, now heads the innovation department, having just launched a green delivery program praised across the industry. Sophia, with her sharp mind, stands quietly, but her smile when an intern thanks her for an analytics idea says everything. Valeria, ever practical, negotiates with a new client, her voice as steady as when she convinced Pure Taste brands years ago. But the ones who make me pause are Matteo and Isabella, the quietest team members. Matteo, now in charge of training, guides new employees with the same patience I saw when he silently completed every task at Sungrove. Isabella, with her organizational genius, made today's event flawless, from the lighting to the flowers on the tables. I recall a night a year ago when Bright Harvest faced a supply shortage crisis. Matteo stayed until dawn, checking every shipment, while Isabella organized a volunteer team to help. "Elijah," Matteo said. When we pulled through, his voice thick with emotion, "You gave us a chance to shine." Isabella nodded, eyes bright. "And we won't let you down." Their words were a gust, filling the sails I'd raised since those dark days at Sungrove. Memories flood back, like moonlight on Miami's coastal road, When my father and I walked after a long day, him sharing stories of helping coworkers at the auto shop. "Elijah," he said, voice warm, "success isn't standing alone at the top. It's passing the torch to others so they can find their light." I carried those words into Bright Harvest, not just building a team, but a culture where everyone is uplifted. Today, watching the young interns, whom Carla calls Bright Harvest's future, I see my father's torch burning in them. Through community initiatives, sustainability programs, and the smiles they share. Sungrove is now a faint memory, like a ship sunk beneath the sea. Victor Cruz vanished from the industry, and Rosa, at a chance meeting at an industry conference, only lowered her head, voice soft. "Elijah, you were right." I didn't respond, just smiled, because my victory wasn't Sungrove's collapse, but the light we ignited at Bright Harvest. I step down from the rooftop, joining the team's laughter. Carla pulls me into a hug. Raphael raises his coffee cup like in our Coconut Grove days, and Diego shouts, "Elijah, we're the lighthouse!" I laugh loudly, feeling my sails not only weathered the storm, but now guide other ships in the dark. In Miami's lights, I know I'm not just Elijah Morales, Executive Vice President. I'm the lighthouse, the castle, the torch my father passed to me, burning bright through my team, through those we uplift, and through the generations to come. Our legacy isn't just numbers, it's light, never fading. During the holidays, I drive to Tampa, my heart light knowing my father has left the hospital and is recovering at home. His small house is unchanged, with a sunlit porch and the smell of coffee he brews each morning. As I walk in, he's in his armchair, hair grayer than before, but his eyes still bright as when he told stories that raised me. "Elijah, you're here," he says, voice hoarse but warm, trying to stand. I rush over, hugging him tightly, feeling his breath, the breath I feared I'd lose forever in the ICU 2 years ago. We sit at the kitchen table, steaming coffee mugs between us like countless evenings before. I tell him about Bright Harvest, about my team, Raphael, Carla, Diego, and the others, now making waves in Miami. "I did it, Dad," I say, voice catching. "Bright Harvest isn't just a job. We built a place that values people, like you taught me." He smiles, his trembling hand resting on mine. "Elijah, you make me proud, not for being vice president, but for keeping your heart. Sun Alien Grove was wrong to let you go, but you found your way." As I leave his house, I know I carry not just his love, but the legacy he gave me, to live for those I love, no matter the storm.